We're at the Zacuto booth with Steve. Now, you guys actually have some really cool new stuff just from since NAB. You cranked out some new products.
I know.
Which I don't know how you got the time for that, but
60 days, and we were griping at our engineers, going, "Man, what have you been doing for the last 60 days?" You know.
All right, so you got some cool new things. Just
Let's start here.
Yeah, let's see.
All right, so we're changing the way we do things here. I mean, it's going to kind of shoot us in the foot, but we're going to do it anyways. We have this new base plate, VCT style base plate, that works with every camera. So the idea now is that we want to make things that are very few components, but yet can go together extremely quickly and self-explanatory with no directions. I think if I gave you this, you'd figure out how to mount your camera to this pretty quickly. You got 2 screws, you have a huge amount of travel here. And the idea is that we want to be able to, if you have a long lens, the camera's going to be, out to here, and the lens will, come around here, because I'm going to show people here, the balance point, and I got to drill this down people's heads now. The balance point when you have a 6-pound camera and a 6-pound lens is approximately where the lens meets the center of the shoulder pad. This is key. So many times you'll see a camera sitting here, or like right on top of the shoulder pad. That is 5 or 6 inches too far forward. And 1 inch is a huge difference in trying to get something balanced. So you can kind of look at this rig and draw a line straight up and down here and see that it's pretty much balanced. It doesn't take very much to figure that out. So anyways, by taking this base plate and putting this little part on there, it's now for DSLRs. You take that off, any camera can go in here because this half cage can go up and down, and it can also go forward and back, and it can also just pop off immediately. And if you need to get the camera hunkered on your leg there, you can do it really quickly. So some of the cameras, like here, you can take a look at. We have the base plate, VCT base plate. We added this little option. I don't know what it's called yet, but it allows you to put in one of our American arms. It also has this new lens support for this Cine lens or any of the compact prime lenses that allows you to sort of rotate the lens in, and it actually kind of scoops into a lock there.
Wow.
Can you see that?
Yeah.
Really kind of cool. It's Jens's concept.
Now, you guys are showing off the balancing the camera, but there's a lot of reasons to balance the camera. By having the shoulder pad built into here, as soon as you pop it off the camera, it's balanced on your shoulder. But it's also balanced on the tripod too, which saves you time in trying to rebalance your plate later on.
Yep. Actually, you can see here, if you draw the line, we're a little behind there because the camera is slightly front heavy.
With the handles and everything.
Yeah, I mean, I'd love to scoot it back a little bit more, and I probably could, but then it gets to the point that the lens, you're focusing back here. So I split the difference, but it's infinitely better than having the camera here. There's another issue that a lot of people don't realize is that other VCT options, which I have never liked, that they're not too universal, but most people are starting their rods here at the end of this because they have a rosette here. I said, forget the rosette, I'll make a rosette that goes on rods. So if you start the rods here, what's the problem? You're already after all the things that you want on your lens. So we were very cautious to get these rods as far back to the base and the shoulder to the rods, and keeping this as thin as possible. That was the mission. Now, one other thing is you don't need a VCT plate with this. You can mount your camera's tripod plate right to the triangle here. And then, if you have a little bit of slide capacity in your tripod, it will be balanced. So VCT, no VCT.
Very good. Now, you guys have a new zoom system, new control system. This is new from NAB, and this is pretty cool. Tell us about this.
All right, so this is called our control grip, and we're going to start from the beginning here. It has 2 motors that you can put in here. But we wanted to go very simple. So what you have here is it's literally, I showed you. You put the motor on here, you push it down. I'm actually going to turn it off right now. So the system's off. Okay, no lights, it's off. Now I turn it on. It's got the 1 cable from here to there. Motor's calibrating itself. Went to the end, that's it. Now it knows how to go through the lens just like that. It's that simple. Then you buy a camera cable. This is an additional item because we don't know which camera you have. And you can get several of these for different cameras, but the camera cable goes to This is the LAN C cable, but the Epic has its own cable, the Alexa has its own cable, but this LAN C cable works for all the Canon and Sony cameras. And the DSLR has a USB cable, and you have a go button, start and stop. You have assignable buttons, 5 assignable buttons that you can, like one could be white balance, one could be ISO, one could be that magnification, and essentially, when we've created our recoil, which we call a system where it's totally balanced and the camera's behind you, I need camera control in front of me, I need my optics in front of me, and I need to be able to focus it. And that's, when you look on this side, by having, you can see how far forward we've thrown the optics here. This is what you need to create a recoil.
Now you said that you're aiming this at the ENG, the run and gun shooter, and you're doing that. One of the biggest fundamental factors in that is having the power in the handle.
Yes, and documentarians. You know, I'm a documentarian. We want to be able to get into cars, live in a one-take environment, and know that we're getting the shot. We can't start with system batteries, control boxes, all this kind of stuff. Yeah, the battery is kind of interesting. It uses a 5D battery, and I know this, when I told you that, everybody's like, what? This battery has been in here for 3 days, and it's actually controlling the motor. The motor's at 18 volts, but this battery's only at 7.2. And when I tested it, you can, if you hold the motor and you put it at full speed, it's only at speed 2 right now. Put it at speed 9, it'll spin that motor for 30 minutes. So you can put a battery eliminator in here and power it from a V-Lock or whatever you want, but it's not necessary.
So this system is just perfectly optimized for somebody that just wants to plug it directly in, have this set up, and just be up and going, and not having extra cables, extra power.
Calibration, all of that. I mean,
there's other systems out there that work well for that, but there isn't really anything like this in the market.
No, not to control the camera, every camera, not any camera, every camera. Now, some of this took time, you know, being able to control the Alexa and the Epic and, you know, DSLRs, this isn't that easy. And actually being able, you know what the control box looks like. So that control box is in here, a power system's in here, jacks are in here, and the zoom rocker and all that's in here. That's a lot of stuff to get into a little teeny hand grip. You know, so this grip is on its like 20th renovation of, you know, getting it form factored right and all the boards and everything fitting in there. It's a pretty complex device. It's not that simple.
And then this is your own motor system as well, so it just goes directly in there.
That's our motor, and it's I don't want to say it's the highest torque rated motor, but it is. And it's very quiet, and it's a custom motor. We built it from the ground up. It's extremely small, as you can see. That's about the smallest looking motor I've ever seen. It fits in the palm of your hand, but it has the you know, the internal parts of the motor. There's only 2 companies that make motors. You know, this motor company, this is a brand new spanking motor that we kind of talked them into making, and this is the first time it's being used.
Very good. Now, you're showing it with zoom. I mean, will it work with focus and other?
Right now, this right grip will do. Well, you can put it on the focus if you want, but it has 2 motors. You can put them anywhere you want them. Right. This is the iris control. You know, your wheel. This is your zoom control. We are making a left-handed grip that we're working on now that's going to have 2 interesting other ways. So you'll have 4 possible ways of controlling things. So if you like the iris on that hand or the zoom on that hand, you can mix and match. It's just, this rocker is M1 and this is M2. You can flip-flop and do whatever you want.
And then, now you showed it at auto-detecting on hard stops. What about if you have, you know, infinite lenses?
Yeah, I know this is going to sound nuts. When you put it on the L series, you know, 24 to 70, and you stick it on the focus, it will find one end and it will find the other end. There's some kind of electronic hump that we don't know about, and it figures it out. I've done it, and it works great.
There's a little click that happens when it goes from control to infinity, and so it actually can detect that.
It detects that.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
So tell us about the price point for the entire package.
It's $3,600. So the hand grip, the cable, a battery, a charger, and the motor is $3,600. The control cables are going to range, like I'm assuming this Land C one's probably $100 or something. The Epic one's a bit more because it has 2 LEMOs on it. The Alexa one's probably going to be 200. You know, some I don't know. You know, we're not sure yet because we haven't priced and built them yet. We have prototypes, but 3600, 37 with a cable.
And you showed it with, you know, a fixed length here. Could people get a longer length cable if they want to?
Well, you can. This is a standard LEMO cable. I mean, I'm making this cable and it's coming with this cable because I've tested it with all the different lens possibilities, and it's nice not having, you know, all this wrapping. I mean, it doesn't really look cabled. You know what I mean? So I'm selling it with that cable. If you want to buy a 10-foot cable, you can go do it. No problem. The Land C cable and these, I'm making the right length. And again, they make extensions for those, and you can try that.
Good.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for your time, Steve.
Appreciate it.
Great.
Special thanks to our sponsors for making our coverage possible.